Hey folks, I'm John P. This is GeekBeat TV, and what is better than a hurricane in a bottle? Nothing. We're going to talk about it right now. Okay, guys, I've actually got John Scherer on the phone. I was going to say on the phone, John, but it's on the Skype with us here. Amazing technology. John is the CEO of Canless Air Systems. Thanks for joining me today. Appreciate it.
Thank you, John, for having me. I appreciate being on.
It's fun to be able to do cross-country interviews using nothing but Skype and a couple of cameras, huh?
Yes, I'm in Arizona. Where are you, Texas?
Dallas.
Dallas.
Big
okay.
D. Yeah. So thanks for coming on. You know, I want to tell everybody kind of the impetus of our getting together today, because Mark Winning, who follows me on Google+, sent over an email or a message, I guess, to Callie and myself saying, hey, wondered if you guys have tried the O2 Hurricane Canless Air, and if so, what'd you think of it? And when my first thought was, Hurricane Canless Air, whatever it is, I don't know, but I'm in. We pinged you guys, and you said, yeah, let us send you one. You sent me this bad boy.
Yep.
And I'm not going to lie to you, John. When the first thing I did was I ripped the box open and squeezed this trigger, and it made this magnificent noise.
Yep.
That was loud. That is 200 miles an hour of air coming out of this bad boy?
Yes, 200 miles of air. Now, it's actually more than that. It's closer to, sometimes it's closer to 220.
Wow.
But we just like to say over 200 miles an hour.
Okay, so, I mean, clearly we can use it for dusting off computers and things like that. But before we get into talking about this particular device, where did the idea come from?
Well, it's interesting. It was in around May of 2011, an inventor contacted me on my personal site and asked if I'd be interested in being a spokesperson for his product. He's in Arizona. We got together. He showed me his first invention, and we sat and talked, and he told me all the dangers of canned air, all the reasons why he invented this. I took the stuff home and said yes. After I read, I thought I was a savvy consumer, but I thought canned air was canned air. I didn't know.
Is it not?
I didn't know. It's canned gas, and I didn't realize it can explode. You get frostbite from it. You can die if you inhale it. You shouldn't be inhaling it, but you can die from it. You can. There's a lot of dangers with it, and I never realized that. So when he told me about his product, I checked it out. There was nothing like it, and we started in, and that's how we came up with what you have in your hand, what I have in my hand, the O2 Hurricane.
Okay, so let me just get this straight. Are you telling me that when I run around the office spraying my canned air at people's faces just for fun, I shouldn't be doing that?
I know you're kidding.
No, I'm not. I've done that.
Oh my God. Oh my.
I didn't think that stuff was harmful. It's canned air, right? I mean, what's the deal?
That's right. And that's what most consumers, I think your viewers would say, well, it's canned air. If they have some, or they go to a store and read the label, read what's on the back of the can, this stuff in red. If you're seeing that, and there's all these do's and don'ts.
Yeah.
It's very dangerous, and you don't want to spray your face.
I honestly did not know that before you said that, because I mean, we do that. I mean, they're fun. I mean, the problem with those cans is they're really expensive. I think they're like, I mean, we buy them at Fry's and they're like $15 for 3 of them or something. I don't know. Every time you squeeze a trigger, you're just thinking, oh, there's money down the drain. But it's so fun to do, you know?
Well, and they're a different deal. And since you've used it, it's easy to talk to you about it because canned air freezes up after a while. If you hold the trigger down, it will run for maybe 4 or 5 good seconds of a blast, and then it starts to die out. And the can gets real cold.
True.
You have to wait for it to warm up. It takes about 45 minutes. And then you can do it again. But each time the blast becomes less powerful.
Okay.
So when we came up with this idea, when we started working on this, the original design looked like a hair blower. And I said, no. I said it has to be the same size as canned air. This is what people are used to. So you see how much they look alike.
Yeah, I've actually got one here too. So
there you go. Okay, they kind of feel alike. And then, so ours though, when you pull the trigger, this thing will run for about 15 minutes. So if you pull it for 6 seconds at a time, you could run this thing for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
6 seconds at a time, and that's really the way people use canned air. Now, one of the things we experience is that people are used to that little hissing sound of canned air, that squirt sound.
Yeah.
It's not what this is. This is actually a very powerful, look at this. This is only 8 inches tall. 8 inches tall, it's a couple inches around, and it produces over 200 miles an hour blast coming out of here.
Well, the first thing I noticed when I picked it up is it feels solid. The outer housing is made of plastic, but this thing weighs like, if I had to guess, I'd say it weighs a couple of pounds. It's solid.
It is solid. It's very solid. This is an ABS plastic on the outside. Now, what's in here is a battery. There's a battery in this half. There's a motor in here. And then up here, there's an impeller and an impeller housing. Think of it, an impeller is, for our viewers, it's like a fan. It's very much like a fan, only it's not a fan. And these blades spin around in this impeller housing, and it forces the air out of this. So that's all this is. You know, when they invented the bobby pin and some of those things, they're so simple.
Yeah.
And this, people look at, it's so simple that people go, well, I can't believe that's all this is. Well, that's all it is. The inventor originally, he was sitting around. Here's an interesting thing. Have you ever started a wood fire? Have you ever
yeah.
Okay. Build a fire and use this.
And just
don't use this. Don't use this because you'll only do it once. Only do it once. But John, seriously, he was sitting around. He was trying to get a fire going one time, and so he said, "There's got to be some way instead of the old billows that you do this and blow air at it." He thought there would be something, and that's how this got started. 12 years in the making.
Interesting.
12 years to get to where it is.
And of course, for all of our geeky viewers, I think the number one thing they would imagine is, like with these canned air, blowing dirt off your computer and your keyboard, and if you open up one of those PCs, getting all the dust out of there and things like that. That's what I instantly gravitated towards with it.
Right, and that's what I remember seeing guys years ago walking around our office spraying off keyboards and cleaning computers with this stuff. I had no idea of the dangers of what they were doing. I mean, to come in and squirt it, and you can't clean a paper shredder, for example. That's one thing it tells you. It's very clear. Don't ever spray that on a paper shredder.
Really?
Never.
I'm sure I've done that.
Never.
I'm positive I've done that.
I'm dead serious.
Okay.
There's a video on the internet of a guy exploding doing that, so you don't want to do that. This is just air. You don't put anything toxic into the atmosphere. And you're looking right at me, and if you could see me doing this, it doesn't hurt anyone.
That's funny because Mark Hopkins brought me a can of this compressed air while we're talking, and it says on the back, caution, keep out of reach of children. Misuse by deliberately concentrating and inhaling it may be harmful or fatal. It can be ignited under certain circumstances. Yeah. So, okay. So there's danger, and then there's also cost associated with it. So, I guess what people would probably like to know is, how powerful is this compared to these? Like, what's the relative, blowing capacity in those 5-second bursts that we use?
Canned air, when you first get it, open it up, squirt it, has more power for 4 seconds than this. That 4 seconds, that first 4 seconds. But then as you keep holding it, as you keep holding the trigger on canned air, it dies, and this stays at over 200 miles an hour.
Okay.
And this can maintain that for close to 15 minutes. So that will last 40, that can you have in your hand, it'll last about 4 to 6 seconds strong, and it will just fizzle out. You've used it, so you know.
Absolutely. I think everybody who has experience with it knows. Also, the little straw thing that comes out of it is a lot smaller than the one that comes out of the Hurricane.
Okay, I want to tell you something. Pull that straw off. Pull that off. No, not on that.
Yep.
Okay. Your viewers should use it without the straw. You don't need the straw. When we originally developed this, we had the straw so it would look like canned air. But it's got more power when the straw is off. There's more power, and you don't need it. You can hit your keyboard. You can get all these things. If you have an area that you got to get back into, that you really need it, put the straw on. Otherwise, use it without the straw.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so then the other question people are going to be asking is, all right, what's one of these bad boys going to cost me compared to the canned air? Here
is a good comparison. You can charge this about 500 times, we'll say. Each time, that's equivalent to about 1,000 cans of canned air. So at $5 a piece, $5,000 for canned air, this cost about $100.
Okay.
So your viewers can figure that out pretty quickly.
All right, now you got 2 models of it, right? The only distinguishing characteristic between the two is the color of the trigger, right?
Correct.
So
that is correct.
I've got the gray one. What does that mean?
That means you have the industrial model.
Yeah, baby.
There is a home version. By the way, let me just show you. It comes in this box. I don't know if you got to see it. And it's in this box. It comes packaged like this. This unit here is a standard unit. It has the black trigger.
Okay.
Right? It's got all the power, but it only blows up to just a little over 165 miles an hour, which is a lot of wind, a lot of force coming out. It's less money, and we suggest for around the home, you can clean window blinds, computer keyboards, all the things you want to clean. The industrial one, the one that you have, for the tech people.
Okay.
This is where we're seeing it used a lot. People cleaning slot machines, cleaning ATM machines, cleaning the red box rental machines, cleaning parking meters, cleaning fire alarm systems.
Interesting.
There's companies that are using it to the smoke detectors. So this is more of a heavy duty use.
Okay, John, what is the price difference between the two?
The standard unit is $79.95. The industrial unit, depending on where you go, you can buy it for $109 or sometimes $99.
So 20 or 30 bucks more. I don't care how good the smaller one is. For 20 or 30 bucks more, I'm a fan of more power.
That's right. You don't want the 6-cylinder, you want the 8-cylinder.
Always. Always.
That's right.
All right. Well, that's good. Now, okay, so 2 last questions for you.
Sure.
First of all, if people want to learn more information on it, where can they go to do that?
Well, they can go to canlessair.com, and it tells them all about it. It compares. They can read the comparison between this and canned air. They can read all about what these units will do and how they'll do it.
Fair enough. And final question, if they want to actually buy one, where can they do that?
At the same place. If they can't miss it, they go to canlessair.com, and they can buy it right there. They could choose the 6-cylinder or the 8-cylinder. Just kidding. But they're right there. Now,
okay.
John, I want to remind you about a giveaway.
Oh, that's right. I'm glad you did.
Honestly, were you going to remember?
I probably wasn't going to until after we had hit cut, and then I would have been like, oh, I forgot. But I'm glad you reminded me. So, yeah, you guys, John has actually generously donated 5 of these bad boys. Are we going to give them the 6-cylinder or the 8-cylinder?
8-cylinder.
Wow. Okay. 5 of the industrial ones that we're going to do a contest on. So, that'll be fun. Stay tuned for that.
They will like it.
All right. Well, John, thank you very much for your time. And you guys keep an eye out. We're going to run the contest. I think we'll do it over on Google+. How's that sound to you, Dave Curley?
Yeah.
All right. Google+ it is. So we'll get that started as soon as we get the video posted. And that's it. All right, so stay tuned for more episodes of Geek Beat TV. We'll be back with the regular show here in a couple of days. Take care, guys.